Hello and welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. Because that's what we do. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. That's 520-790-2040. And this week it's just Rob and I. We're doing our thing.
Just Rob. That's how everybody introduces me.
Yeah, this is just Rob.
Just Rob.
It's just that guy.
The IT guy, the web guy.
Just the web dude.
The web dude, that's what it was.
Yeah. So if you have any questions about websites, SEO, reputation management, these types of things, this is a good day for you to call.
Because I'm here.
Because you're here to answer those questions.
And I feel pretty good today because I pulled a mic and I'm drinking a Monster.
I left mine in the car.
So I'm the only wired one here?
Yeah, you're the only one.
See, I never ever drink them, so when I do, it's like 10 Monsters.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, 790-2040 if you want to be a part of the show. This is your free hour of tech support you get once a week. You can ask any technology question you like. But the focus today, where did we decide we were going to start with this? Because I know where it's going.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where we decided to start either, because there's so much.
Let's go ahead and start with quantum computing.
Oh yeah, that was a super interesting story.
All right, so Google has released an article or a statement that the M-Wave computer, which is
D-Wave.
D-Wave, that they're thinking of the audio stuff. Their quantum computer that is at, I think, JPL. It's in conjunction with NASA.
Yep.
That they have built appears to be 100 million times faster than a simulated quantum computer.
Than the previously simulated fastest quantum machine.
Right.
And actually, I'm reading here that it's at the Ames Research Center in California.
Very nice. So it's fast. I mean, and to think about, I mean, the whole quantum computing thing just sort of, it blows your mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary and scary awesome all at the same time.
So in a normal computer, you have these bits, and they're either ones or zeros, and you got a whole bunch of them. Lots of bits. In fact, 64 of them if you have a current computer all in a row. And whether or not each of those bits is set to 1 to 0 is a specific set of words, right? Because each word length in a computer is 8 bits long. And the thing about the quantum computers is that they use something called qubits, which are either 1 or 0 simultaneously. And yeah.
It's confusing. I mean, even to people who are well versed in technology, it can be a confusing thing to think about.
All right, so if you have bits that are in both states at the same time, potentially, I mean, the example I was using this morning is, Rob and I were doing like a pre-show chat, had a cup of coffee, and I'm like, well, I mean, as far as I know, this cup of coffee is a quantum computer, right? It's probably got bits, maybe, that are 1s or 0s, maybe. The whole quantum computing thing is insane and very hard to wrap your brain around.
And now, I mean, I kind of got dragged into the showmanship of the article a little bit when, it has that big number, the 100 million times faster. So I immediately started thinking about all the possibilities of what 100 million times of a faster processor would really mean. And we're not quite there yet. And also this computer is gigantic, so it's not like, you're going to have it on your desktop anytime soon. But, I mean, the fact that it's something that is being worked on right now is pretty incredible to me.
Right, so if it's 100 million times faster than a simulated quantum computer, then if they actually get around to making this thing functional, fully functional, then we take things like encryption. All right. Well, encryption's important, and we're going to talk a little bit about that more in the show also. But as of right now, your basic encryption with regular, very, very powerful computers would take about a year to crack. But under the math involved with the quantum computer, it'd be 1/3 of 1 second.
Something like that, yeah. Relatively instant.
Right.
So, I mean, this whole battle on encryption thing is moot at that point. It doesn't even matter.
Right.
You have all the encryption you want. You want a 1024-bit encryption? Be my guest.
Right. So, yeah, let's say you crank it up to 1024. And that type of encryption on standard computers is supposed to take about half a century, about 50 years to crack. but also you take that same math and apply it to the 100 million times faster quantum computer, it's less than 5 seconds.
So it's a bit longer than the third of a second there, but
Right.
you won't have time to even look around and wonder how long it's going to take before it's over.
Right. Now, who knows? You might get really that impatient,
Yeah.
right? Once you get used to
It's
quantum
going to take
computing.
5 seconds.
Like, dang. 4.5 seconds, really?
There's so much downtime. So the quantum computing bit is going to be a real game changer as far as technology as we know it.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a game changer as far as video games go.
It won't play Crysis 3.
Well, I was just about to say that this computer should be ready for consumer purchase right around the time that Half-Life 3 comes out.
Nice.
2-3 centuries from now.
So I think one of the most interesting implications the scary one for me is I guess they both are, but the encryption bit is kind of scary as far as you're not going to have any. Now they're going to have to come up with something new.
Yeah, that's something else that we were talking about. Just the nature of having a quantum computer should theoretically allow them to create, a much more sophisticated encryption algorithm.
Should,
yeah.
we'll see.
I would hope that whoever, all the companies that are working on quantum computers are simultaneously working on quantum encryption.
Yeah.
Or quantum level encryption.
Well, Google is. I mean, they're pretty dedicated to security. They definitely support end users having encryption, which is important.
Yeah.
But they're also working on artificial intelligence. And that seems to be a big push for Google in the last couple of years anyway, at least.
Well, I mean, that's
publicly.
another thing we were discussing this morning. It seems almost like they have to go in that direction if their search algorithm is going to become as sophisticated as they want it to.
Well, the search engine as it is sort of AI.
Yeah, I mean, at the basic fundamental level, it's making decisions for itself.
Right. So if it's writing its own code to a certain extent, which the Google search algorithm purportedly does, then, if they go like the Deep Dream thing, or they've been working on AI for a while now, especially with the video games, the simple video games,
Mm-hmm.
and AI that teaches itself. So it starts out with a basic, near basic understanding of the world, and it has to learn everything for itself. Of course, it has access to Google to do that, but it's terrifying when it comes to the AI, what can be.
Yeah, and I mean, like the precedent for a machine that teaches itself about the world has already been set. I remember reading an article about a program that simulated a machine walking, and they just gave it the basic instructions, and within 100 generations, this little pair of simulated legs that they had was stood up and walked across their simulated room.
Right.
And that 100 generations inside of a computer is, I think they ran the simulation for like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So
here's my thing about the AI is that there's the idea of having an intelligence that is in a machine, right? That is likely to be able to make decisions more quickly than us, possibly with more ramifications, right? We're going to be able to go to the Oracle, so to speak, right? Ask the Oracle as far as, hey, computer, we need this to happen. How do we do it? And have it run all the simulations, have it run everything it needs to do to make that decision, and then tell you the answer. And I think that's going to be probably the first sort of line of AI, right? Other than cars doing self-driving stuff. But as far as a general purpose AI, rather than a specific AI, general purpose AI is going to be like just be able to ask it questions and have it give you answers or make decisions for you. Once you start getting into the general AI stuff, it starts getting scary.
Well, I mean, generalized robots in general are scary, that are not application specific. That's a really scary prospect because they have to be completely mobile and able to do things that a person could do. You pair that with something like a generalized operating system, an intelligence for it, and you've essentially just created a sentient being.
Right. So the first generations of AIs are going to be in a machine. They're going to be in a box. They're going to be in a research lab somewhere, which they are now, right? Where you've got these AIs that are being asked questions and learning things and moving forward. The question then becomes is when you get to that point where you have a general AI, where you've got something that is to a certain extent self-aware, right? Where it recognizes what it is, what it's learned, what it's doing, and what its role is in life. At that point, does it become some sort of vicious form of slavery?
Yeah.
And what, I mean, if you think about this in cycles, in processor clicks, you've got this, let's say that you come in and you talk to it once a day and say, hey, computer, let's have a conversation. How long is it for the computer in between, for this AI that's living in the computer?
I mean,
what's the duration?
If it's potentially thinking at a rate, of a factor of 100 million times faster than a person,
yeah,
potentially.
Yeah, so it's sitting there for, if we were to adjust for scale, it has to sit there for 1 million years before the next time that we come and interact with it, or billion years, an eternity.
What does that do?
Does that then affect what happens when it becomes emotionally aware, or does it? So the whole idea of AI is sort of mind-bending in the fact that, there's a certain amount of science fiction that we want to put on it.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still talking science fiction right now. That what we call AI is just like how, 480p was called HD originally.
Right.
Now we have to call it super, ultra, uber HD.
When we had high-definition VCR tapes
right.
back in the day that were just, it has 4 heads. 4 heads, can you believe it? And a flying eraser.
1 pixel HD.
It's old school, man. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get back from the break. In the meantime, we were going to take a moment to mention our sponsor, which is Perfection Auto Works. And, of course, Tara's not here to do her thing. But I think she's going to go down there and get her oil change.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea. It's that time of year where you should be doing that. Doing that car maintenance, make sure it's in good shape. Make sure that your tires and belts and fluids are all tires, belts, and fluids.
All those car things.
Yeah, all the car things. And Perfection Auto Works is where you go to get that done. Visit their website, perfectionautoworks.com, or listen to their ad coming up right now on the Computer Guru Show.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. Let's go ahead and take some phone calls. Start with Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Doing great.
What can I do for you?
Well, first of all, I'm a big Computer Guru fan up here in the state of Washington, and I just got a new desktop in, Mike, with some Guru recommended options, but it came with Windows 7 Pro, and it's also got the SSD and a 2 terabyte drive as well. My plan is to upgrade it to Windows 10 with a clean install since it's a fresh machine. I had a couple questions to go through with you about that.
Okay.
So, do you recommend, first of all, is that a good plan to do a clean install on a new machine of Windows 10?
I have not seen any real benefit to the clean installs versus the upgrades. I know people might disagree with me, but as far as I see the same problems with the clean installs versus the upgrades. So
okay,
it's
so
easier to do the upgrade, so you might as well just do that.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Next, then, I assume it would be easier then I'm just worried about options. I've never installed an operating system. So is it going to prompt me for everything I need to know, like how to handle the SSD drive, make sure that's my main drive so I get the full benefit?
So if you're doing an upgrade, then an upgrade is going to be an in-place upgrade, so it's going to be whatever your current operating system drive is going to remain your operating system drive.
Oh, perfect.
If you're doing a clean install, then it does ask you which drive you'd like to install on, but that's about the only question it's going to ask you.
Okay, so I've got a NVIDIA video card as well. Is it going to just automatically upgrade that, and the printer, a Canon printer as well, or do I need to go manually do those?
Well, what I would do, at least for the NVIDIA stuff, is make sure that you don't have like the NVIDIA Experience software installed, because that seems to break during the upgrade. I would uninstall your antivirus that you have on the machine for the upgrade.
It's the Windows. It's only the Windows.
Yeah, then you can leave that one. That's fine.
Okay.
But as far as the NVIDIA stuff is concerned, just uninstall anything that's not just the basic driver.
Okay. Is it okay to get rid of anything that says Dell? I already uninstalled the McAfee that came with it.
Yeah, you can. And you can simplify that process by getting a software called PC Decrapifier. PCDECRAPIFIER.com.
Gotcha.
That is an essential tool.
And it'll ask you, hey, is this a new machine? You'll say yes, and it'll uninstall just about everything that you don't need.
Okay.
And then you can go through it again and tell it, hey, this is the other stuff I'd like to remove. And so anything with that's emblazoned Dell, yes, you can get rid of.
Okay. And a couple more quick ones, Mike. Windows Easy Transfer to get pics and stuff, everything. Is that okay to use?
Upgrade is not going to be a non-issue. Doesn't exist in Windows 10 if you're doing a clean install.
Okay. So just basically cut and paste or
Yeah.
copy and paste?
Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, Office 365, I've got Outlook configured perfectly now on my existing machine
Right.
for email.
If you're upgrading, it's going to keep it. Otherwise, you're going to lose all your settings.
Okay, well, I'm going to actually, on the new machine, we have like 5 versions. It's the 365, so I'm going to install a new version on the new machine of Office, register it. What's the best way to import the Outlook settings and contacts? When I imported it from Windows Mail on my old machine,
Right.
it didn't work well, Mike, and I've just got it now where all my contacts are perfect. Everything's working.
Who's your mail provider?
Comcast and Gmail.
Your Gmail, you don't have to worry about. It'll just import the way it's supposed to as soon as you add the account.
The Comcast is IMAP now, so.
IMAP will work for your mail, but won't work for your contacts if you have contacts stored outside of Gmail. So if your contacts are just stored in Outlook and they are not synchronized some way, then you'll have to export those out of your old mail setup as a PST and then import them on your new setup.
Okay. So is that the best way to do it, the import-export
It's about the only way you're going to do it that's going to be useful.
Okay. Well, hey, appreciate your show, Mike, and thanks for the tips. I'm going to get on doing that stuff right now.
Thanks for listening up in Washington, and tell your friends and find a radio station that wants to put me on up there.
I'll get on it.
All right, thanks, man. Have a nice day. Let's move on to Larry. Hello, Larry. How are you?
Fantastic. My challenge is that we got these updates from Windows Tuesday, downloaded and stuff, and ever since they've been updated, my Outlook is in the safe mode.
Yeah. So that's now twice in a month that Microsoft has broken Outlook with an update.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
So they have already retracted that update. So what you can do is you can go and do add remove programs. And do you know how to uninstall a program in Windows?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
you're going to look for an update. And I'll give you a number here, so you're going to have something to write with.
Okay.
All right. It is KB, as in knowledge base, 311. KB
311
4409.
4409.
That's the update that makes your Outlook start in safe mode.
Okay,
So
let
if
me
you-
repeat that back. Yeah.
Sure.
It's KB 311 4409.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you uninstall that update, your Outlook will work properly again.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you want to go a different route, or if that doesn't work for you, there's a registry hack to force Outlook to start not in safe mode. So, but we don't do those over the radio. That's like over email type of situation.
Yeah, okay.
So give it a shot, and that should make your Outlook start normally again.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Let's see. What do we got next? Phil? Hello, Phil. How are you?
Hi, gentlemen. How are you? Good morning to you. Hey, a quick question. I'm looking to be as frugal as possible. I need to purchase a new desktop. The box I have right now is 47 years old. Not quite that old. Currently running Windows 7. But and I've never built a PC. I've been around computers all my life, but I've never actually built a PC. But like I said, I'm looking to be frugal. Any recommendations? Oh, let me add one more thing too. I need to make sure that whatever desktop I purchase, I want a solid video board with at least 1 gig of memory on board. It's not for gaming, but it is for using a software application called ZoomText by AI Squared. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Heard of it.
What's that?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a screen magnification and screen reading tool, and it's really quite slick. If you know anybody who is visually impaired and loves to use a computer but having difficulty with it, go out to AISquared.com, and you can do a free download. I'm not selling. I'm not.
I guess
a
we got a
salesman.
plug-in for that.
I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't have. But being a legally blind person, it's the tool and it's the technology that has allowed me to stay in the technology business.
So let me ask you about your use of the word frugal.
Frugal, cheap, man.
All right.
I want to go as inexpensive as possible, but I don't want to shoot myself in the foot either.
All right, we tell people not to be cheap, and I'll tell you why. Is that if you buy a disposable machine, you're buying a disposable machine.
I don't want to buy a disposable machine.
All right,
No.
so what you're looking for is good value.
Right.
And good value is pretty easy to find, but cheap, which is more easy to find, is really not a good idea.
Yeah, no, I don't want. I really don't want cheap, but the cheap word is really part of the dollars and cents. Okay?
All right, so we'll say
I
that
want a solid machine with at least 8 gig memory. I do have an external Seagate hard drive, terabyte hard drive.
poor thing.
And it's not bad. It spins at
It's Seagate. It's bad. All right, so
Really?
Yeah, but that's a different rant. Seagate
Okay,
drives are
sorry.
terrible and they fail like crazy.
okay. I haven't had any issues. But anyway, go ahead.
Let's talk about your price range, and we don't recommend machines based on brand for the most part. I mean, we like the Lenovo brand. They are a decent set of hardware at a decent price, and so we consider those to be a decent value. But we tell people to buy machines in price brackets. So it doesn't matter what brand you get because they're effectively all the same once you get certain price points.
Right.
For a desktop machine, for workstation, you need to be in the $600 to $800 range.
That's exactly you're reading my mind because I was thinking anywhere from $600 to $800. That's pretty much what I'm thinking. Because again, I don't want a disposable machine. I want a machine that'll take me down the road for 3 to 5 years at least.
Again, that's the price range you need to be in then.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So most of those are going to come with a decent video card once you're up in the above $600 range.
Right.
Decent for you, right?
Yeah,
Because
perfect
you're not
for
gaming.
what you need to do.
And they'll be pretty solid. So just buy anything you like in that price range, and you'll probably be happy.
Okay. So you may have said it, I missed it, but what sort of brand are you talking about right now?
Well, like I said, it's not brand specific; it's cost specific.
It's
but
cost specific.
but
okay.
we do like Lenovo's.
Lenovo's, okay.
Yeah, Lenovo.
Okay. I'm familiar with it. How about Dell?
They're okay if you're in that price range.
Okay. Right. Exactly. Okay. So $600-800, probably above $600. I should be.
Yeah, anything plus above $600 is going to be decent for what you're doing as a workstation that's going to last a while.
Okay. Any other tidbits going from Windows 7 to Windows 10? And I'm one of those again because of my visual thing. I'm all about trying to keep the same look and feel. I mean, I run Windows 7 as though it's still looks like classic, but I just like that visibility. I like the way that looks.
Yeah, that sort of goes away in 10. So
okay. Well, then I have to get used to something new.
Yep.
Very good.
And just the only things that I would say as far as don't do this or whatever is no AMD processors.
I agree.
And that's about it. So
Okay.
plus $600 with an Intel processor, you should be good.
All right, very good. Hey, guys, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and have a great Christmas.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate the call. We're going to take a quick break with more of your phone calls right here on the Computer Guru Show.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVO. Guru is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI, The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. We're taking your calls at 790-2040. Just like Keith, I think. Keith? Hello, Keith. How are you?
Hi, fine. This is concerns unknowns in my user group and inherited from permissions for a system. For some reason, I went up to my favorite menu, right-click on my accounts, any of the bank accounts, all of them, and then went to Properties to the Security tab and noticed unknowns were in the user group. And I removed all of them. But then I went down to permissions for the systems and clicked Advanced and saw unknowns had full permission to change my computer. I removed them. What's the story on that? It doesn't look good.
Did it actually say unknown, or did it say like a string of characters and numbers?
And then it gave a string of characters and numbers, unknown string of characters and numbers.
Okay. Did you delete any users recently?
Did I do who?
Delete any users from your computer recently?
No. It's just me. It's a single use, my laptop.
Okay. How about, when did you notice this problem?
A few days ago.
Okay. And have you uninstalled any software like QuickBooks or any other database-driven software?
I downloaded Windows 10 about a month ago, and I said, I'm not a gamer, and I didn't like it.
Oh, so you reverted back from 10?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where your unknowns are coming from.
Oh, okay.
So when you did your 10 upgrade, it basically gives you a new user ID. And when you rolled back, that user's no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
So Windows 7 is looking at those drive permissions and saying, well, there's permissions here for a user that I don't understand.
Right.
And so they're still there on the drive.
Well, not anymore, they're not.
Be careful with that stuff.
Oh, okay.
You just go messing around with the security settings on the drives, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt.
Yeah. Well, it's just a, email and search stuff.
So let me ask you, did you give any permissions or just take away permissions when it came to this?
I haven't given any permissions. I haven't done anything other than download and then uninstall Windows 10.
Okay. So did you remove those unknowns?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you otherwise modify the security for any other user?
No.
Okay, good. Windows 7 has a pretty complex security setting on the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's designed to help keep you safe, right? To disallow malware or any type of virus from getting too far into the system and doing real damage. Mm-hmm. So if you go in there and start changing security settings, you're weakening the overall security of the machine. Those unknowns are fine to remove.
Okay.
Because we know what they're from.
Now,
Go ahead.
how about the permissions for the system? Everything is allow. Now, there's only me, system.
If it's the user that's called system is Windows itself.
Okay.
So once you've removed those unknowns, get out of the security settings and don't look at them again.
All right.
So, because you're going to hurt yourself. So.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it, Keith.
Well, it was excellent. Thank you. Hey, Mike.
So let's see. Who's next? John? Hello, John. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
Good.
I got a question for you. I tried updating my daughter's laptop from Windows 7, and I get the message that says BIOS is not supported. Would it help if I updated the BIOS? It's a Dell computer, 1420, and it's version A, which was 2007, and the last update was 2012.
So when are you getting that message?
When I try to install Windows 10 on it.
And is it currently running 7?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So during the upgrade process, it tells you that the BIOS isn't supported.
Yes.
You can try the BIOS update, but I don't think it's going to work. I think that
It says
machine is just too old.
It says BIOS is not supported.
Right. Like I said, you can try the BIOS update. I don't think it's going to work.
You don't think? Well, I don't want to break it because I'm liable to break it.
Well, there you go. Leave it alone. It's a perfect Windows 7 machine if it still works, considering its age. It's 8 years old. You got to get a new one, man.
I know. I got a Windows 8 tablet, and it wants to update to 10.
Absolutely. Get on it. Do it.
Is that hard to do on a tablet? Should I back it up, or can you back up 8 on a tablet like you do on the PC?
Sort of. Depends on what kind of tablet it is. But it's also rather unnecessary.
It is?
Yeah.
So just go ahead and click it when it says update. Just click.
Go
ahead
for
and
it,
do
man.
Okay. I tried on my desktop on Windows 7 Pro. I tried updating to Windows 10 on a clean install,
Uh-huh.
and I ended up having to call Microsoft, and Microsoft told me you couldn't do a clean install going from a Windows 7 or 8. That you had to do an upgrade. The only way you could do a clean install was to buy Windows 10.
Right. If you're going to do the free upgrade, it's an upgrade. There is no clean install there.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy it, you can go for it all day long, and you can then do a clean install.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
All right. I appreciate the call, John. So, man, we're getting calls from all over today. We're getting one from Florida, one from Washington State. Calls from all over the place. All right, let's move right along here. Let's talk to Mark. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, Mike. Great show again as usual. And so last week I called about Outlook connector. It was probably broken. Downloaded it and tried to install it. Anyway, I still do not have that.
Still can't get your MSN mail?
Yeah, I cannot get my MSN mail. And maybe I installed something wrong, or I don't know. So I have the Outlook open. Is there something I'm supposed to do with
in Outlook
connector? Yeah.
No. As soon as you add the account, the Outlook connector pops up and does its own little configuration. So the only thing that I would try after that is to back up the mail that you currently have in Outlook, delete the account, recreate it.
So when you say it again about Outlook connector.
All right, so you have the Outlook connector installed on your computer.
Well, I believe so.
It'll be in your add remove programs list if you do.
Okay.
It'll also be as an add-in in Outlook. So if you look in the add-in section.
I don't know that I have. So in Outlook,
it's under options.
Go back to my Outlook.
Com add-ins.
Options. You mean actions or?
No, options, and then add-ins.
Okay, I don't have options. So I'm in my
Click
Outlook.
on what version of Outlook is this?
2007.
2007. So you're going to click on the little circle in the upper left corner. The little Microsoft emblem that's up in the upper left-hand corner of Office 2007. It's called the ribbon.
I'm in the Outlook.
Sure. All right, so upper left-hand corner, there's a circle. Do you see it?
No, I see Outlook today. I see...
Way upper left corner.
More up.
Yeah, more up and more left.
All right, I just see the symbol for...
That's the one. So click on that circle, and you should get a menu. It's an emblem. It's kind of circular in nature.
So I'm in Microsoft Outlook.
Correct. All 2007, anything that's 2007 version of Office, Word, Excel, Outlook, they all have the same menu. All right, so as far as you can go upper left in the corner of that window, there's a circle that has the Office logo in it.
Okay, in mine it just has, the Microsoft Outlook symbol, inbox.
So click on the Microsoft Outlook symbol.
Okay, I do that.
Okay, and
it's not what I'm expecting. What you're expecting? Move, size, minimize. Backside.
Okay, so just below that, then, what do you see?
File.
Okay.
Edit, view, go.
Click on File then.
Okay.
I think you have a different version in 2007.
Oh, all right.
All right. So, do you have an options under file? If not, go to tools.
Okay. There's tools.
There we go.
and Options. I do. There it
I
is.
bet you have Office 2003 is what you've got going on here.
Oh, okay.
So when you're in options, on the left-hand side, there's an add-in section.
Okay. I'm in options. Add in. I'm not seeing it yet.
It might be called COM add-ins, but usually it's just called add-ins.
Email, calendar, task, contacts, search, mobile.
So why don't we do this, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we set this up as a remote? And you can get in touch with me either later today or Monday, and we can log into your computer, and I can show you how to do this.
Okay. And
But
so I
if you
can
do
call
want to try this on your own, make sure that you have the Outlook connector installed in Add Remove Programs, which is a little easier to find. And then if you do, then just remove the account from Outlook and then re-add it. You might want to back up your mail first, though.
I would have to do that. Okay, and then I probably need to make sure I have 2003 or 7 then.
Yeah, make sure you have the right one.
Okay.
So go
All
to
right.
Help and About, and when you're in Outlook, and it'll tell you the version.
Yeah, I thought I had done that.
Okay?
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate the call, Mark.
Okay. What's your number to call?
You know, call the office.
Call the office.
Yeah, I'm not
All
going
right.
on my cell phone on the
Okay.
air. Come on now. All right. Thanks
All
for
right.
thanks for the call, Mark.
Thanks a lot.
So for the essence of time here, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and answer some more phone calls. So 790-2040 if you'd like to be part of the show.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus, Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
All right, so we got to make this quick, so we're gonna chew through them here. Let's go ahead and talk to Greg. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Listen, great talking to you, Mike, and this fellow calling from Washington State. You got listeners all over the country. This should be the week we should get together and see about getting your show nationwide, don't you think?
I do think that. You know, I've been waiting for you.
Well, I've got other things I'm doing just like you do, so let's plan on it. Either meeting on the east side, where the east side location is, because the patience that you have with some callers, even though you have callers waiting, that's rare in radio. So and you're giving some great advice. So let's plan on this week.
All right, Greg, you call the office. We'll get it set up.
You got it. Take
All
care,
right,
Mike.
Thank you. And let's see. Now, before we put Claudia on the air here, Emery called. Was it Mike?
Yes, Mike Emery, I believe.
Mike Emery of Perfection Auto Works asking why I don't like AMDs.
Correct.
All right, so
Why you know AMD, bro?
all right, I know AMD, bro, because let me answer this question as though I am an AMD processor.
Wait for it.
Because they are slow. And then I'm going to fall on the floor and crash. Basically, the AMDs are just slow. They're budget. They're cheap, but there's a really good reason that they're budget and cheap, and they run really hot, way hot. It is, and no, it is not, Rob. The fire of which
It's the speed. It's just they're so fast they catch on fire. Okay.
No, they're slow, and they can't compete. Now, that being said, AMD has decided that they are once again going to start competing with Intel directly.
So they say.
Right, because what they've been doing recently is saying, oh yeah, Intel's got that quad core. We'll give you this 8-core processor that's maybe half as fast as Intel's quad core. And basically they're clickbait is what they are. They're like, yeah, we got an 8-core processor. It doesn't do anything, but it's 8 cores. It's 8 cores of nothing.
And I mean, it's not just anecdotal. I actually have one of the 8-core AMDs.
Right.
And I mean, I bought it not because I was tricked into it, but because it fit my budget at the time. And it's about comparable to one of the lower end quad-core Intels.
Yeah, so that's why.
As long as you know that going into it.
And most of the AMDs we see are those Vision computers, dual core. They're terrible. They're terrible. So, until they start competing more directly with Intel, core to core, then I'm going to say everybody should buy Intel.
I hope they do. That'd be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see if they can do it. All right, now let's talk to Claudia. Hey, Claudia, how are you?
I'm good, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing okay. I got about a minute and a half here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It may take more than that to answer this question.
Well, let's see how quickly you can throw it out.
There was a recent Apple update, and several weeks back when I opened my iTunes to play my Christmas playlist that I had put together, among others, there are playlists totally missing. There are all jumbled up. There are songs that are missing altogether.
Right.
From iTunes, and I don't know how to get them back. I spent hours putting those together.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there that iTunes, Apple, if you call them, will support you on this issue. Right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because they've had a rash of complaints because these updates have been destroying playlists for the last 3 updates. However, it's probably going to come down to you rebuilding your playlists.
Okay. Well, I got them in the Zune program. They're still all over there.
Then what program?
I was going to burn them to a CD recently, but
which program did you say they were in, Claudia?
Zune.
On the Zune?
Microsoft Zune.
Oh, look at that!
Someone owns one of those.
Those things are awesome.
Well,
they are.
The hard drive on the unit crashed, but the Zune program on the desktop still works. So,
and that'll be helpful. Now, that'll be helpful, but let me go ahead and tell you that for the general listening audience, that if you have an iTunes library and lots of playlists set up, you should back up your playlists. And there's an option to do that in iTunes where you can back up the playlists and save them so that if something happens.
How do you do that? You have to pay Apple for online storage?
No. I mean, basically, I'm sorry I'm going to have to do this to you just because we're out of time. But if you Google backup iTunes playlists, there's instructions on how to do it. And it's free. You just save it to a flash drive or something. It doesn't save the songs themselves, just the playlists. So that way, if you have a problem, you can rebuild your playlist easily.
Okay, well, if it doesn't save the songs, then what's in the playlist that you're saving?
The songs will probably still be there. I can explain it more next week, or you can call me at the office and we can talk about it.
I will do. Thank you, Mike.
All right, thanks. Appreciate the call.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks to our sponsors, Perfection Auto Works, and also Desert Pro Commercial Cleaners, LLC. They clean the east side. Come check them out. We'll see you next week.